Welcome, viewers. My name is Tyler McCown. We are gathered here with our speakers, James, Cecily, and Amy. Today, we are busting stereotypes, and today's topic, the ugly American and American ignorance abroad. Now, the first thing I want to touch upon is this term, ugly American. Where does it coin from?
Well, the term ugly American comes from a political novel written in 1958 by Eugene Burdick and William Lederer. And they use this term to describe the loud, arrogant, demanding, and ethnocentric behavior of Americans traveling abroad.
Yeah, I think also we can see that when college students travel abroad to finish their studies. College students are young, and when you go to college, like from high school, you think, oh, it's going to be a great time. We're going to party, especially in another country. Like, you're excited to be there, see these new places, meet these new people. But since they live in a different way, your actions and the way that you live and talk, like, it can be deemed as disrespectful to some. But a lot of times we don't know that we're being this way because maybe we haven't studied enough on how their culture is or how to act. And, college students, they want to have fun a lot of the time. So that's what they see from us, is just the partier, the arrogance, the rude, but that's not everybody, and that's not how we mean to come across.
I mean, I would understand it because even though you have read up on the culture and their traditions, doesn't mean that you know everything. You actually have to be there to live the culture so people could understand that you actually know it. And even though we're trying to read up on it, sometimes people think that we are being rude or imitating it, but we're really not. We're actually trying to not offend anybody when we go over to different places.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing with tourists. I mean, you'll get a lot of tourists going to these other countries wanting to take photos with Buddha, and they'll imitate Buddha, and they're just there to have a good time, and their intent isn't to disrespect, but often it comes off that way to that culture.
Definitely.
They say imitation's the best form of flattery, but I guess this isn't the case.
No, absolutely not.
Tourism is not deemed very nice in other cultures. We do it, like you said, as a flattering thing. Like, we want to go here and take all these pictures because we think it's so beautiful. We want to have this memory to take home with us because it was a special time that we got to visit this other culture or just other place in general. But like you were referring to the pictures of Buddha, it's disrespectful. But we don't think that automatically, like, oh, let me take this picture. Oh, wait, no, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
No, we're just like, oh, this is so cool. I want to cherish this memory. And it's really not the right thing to do, but we aren't doing it purposefully to be mean or rude.
Intent is not to disrespect.
Exactly, yes.
Well, as such, I think we've talked enough about the ignorance, the stereotype of ignorance. Now I want to touch on busting the stereotype. How can we show that we are not these ignorant Americans that people think we are?
Well, I think one of the main things that we need to keep in mind is America is noticed as the melting pot. That's what we grew up learning. America is made up of a whole bunch of different cultures, races, religions. That's all in our backyard, and we grow up with all these different people in our lives. So it's kind of hard to be ignorant when we are all different and we come from all these different places. We're not just the white American. We are everybody around us. We grow up learning all these things.
With our backyard, Hispanics make up 17.66%, African American is 12.38%, and Asians is 5.28%. And there's other ethnicities in our backyard too. It's not just those people. But Solano County here is among the nation's most ethnically diverse areas, according to the reporter that I read. And that's saying a lot for Solano County.
Yeah, I think part of what helps to make this place so diverse is because we live in California, which is pretty much almost the entire coast, save for a couple states. We're also living in the Bay Area, and as such, that allows us to have neighbors really close to us, such as we have Mexico down south, we have the entire Asian peninsula across the sea, we got Canada up there as well. So yeah, we just draw people in here, and that's what makes this place so diverse.
And even just being like in a diverse place, we're also from a young age learning about like where everyone comes from. Like we take history class, but we're not just learning about America's history. We're learning about other countries as well. So we're not just solely, you know, immersed on what we did and what we're doing, but we're also, you know, trying to teach from a young age what's going on around the world. Not just what's happening here, but, you know, what's it like over there and stuff like that.
In addition to just history, we have anthropology here at Solano. Anthrop 2 is teaching you about other cultures and traditions that other people have. And I've learned so many other cultures, like, wow, I didn't know that all these people had these traditions. And it's really interesting. Like, there's a lot that you can learn from that class if you take it one day.
Yeah, I think education plays a massive part in making sure we are not ignorant as a society. But going back to the melting pot, you know, America thrives on diversity, and it was built on immigration. We have a massive diversity of religion, culture, and people from different countries. And our rich heritage, and we have a rich heritage, and each culture in our country provides its own irreplaceable contribution to it.
So yeah, as such, we have a lot that we've contributed in the world as Americans. America has gone out to the world to help the world, not saying that as trying to be like, oh yeah, America is the greatest country, but no, we've definitely done our part to support. And one of the greatest ways that we've been able to help the world was the production of the Peace Corps. So where does the Peace Corps come from?
Well, funny enough, the Peace Corps was actually founded by John F. Kennedy in 1961, and it was created after he read the political novel I mentioned at the beginning, The Ugly American.
So the Peace Corps, they've done a lot in the world. You could list that and talk about that for hours, but just a few of the ways they've helped out was, one, they've translated at least 8 different languages, and that's a pretty big thing to do, because I don't see how America could be seen as ignorant if we're willing to go into another country, a whole nother nation, afar from us, learn their language, which is not well known to people outside of that culture. And as such, we learn of their culture. We learn about their culture, sometimes even live it. And then we try to bridge the gap between them and the rest of the world. As such, I think that America cannot be seen as an ignorant culture if we're willing to go to such lengths. Another thing that we do is we help farmers technologically. We help provide food security. Food security that entails protection of food and crops from various things like natural disasters, economic downfall, famine, and even war. At that point, the techniques that are entailed by these farmers are things like mulching, grafting fruit trees together. There's also protection of soil erosion, which can lead to the downfall of many crops. It'll also makes it so that they understand how to do rotate cropping, which makes the soil even better. As such, there's a lot that we've done there as far as the Peace Corps goes.
Yeah, like reading up on the Peace Corps, they're currently helping around like 66 countries in the world right now. Like, that's a lot. Like, we're just one country and we're able to help around 66 other countries. And 4 of their major global initiatives are U.S. Government Let Girls Learn, Malaria Initiative, the Global Food Security and Feed the Future, which is kind of what Tyler was talking about, and also President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. So, and these are just 4 main things, but we're helping in so many different other ways. And I know that the Peace Corps is not even that's just one charity or one organization.
Other ones are the Clinton Foundation and Experiment. It's newly founded in 2015, and they help countries purify their water source. So it's not like we're just laying back and relaxing and not worrying about what else happens around the world. We're actually trying to do our part to help other people, and like, it's not just us. We're not ignorant. we don't just not do anything for anyone else.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to call Americans ignorant when we have all these different organizations that go out to developing countries and other countries alike to address the issues they have and try and solve them.
And none of this is free. Like, it costs money to help everybody out. Like, in 2006, America was spending about $5.6 billion a year in helping humanitarian and development aid in Africa. And that was during Bush's presidency. And from 2010 to 2012, America was spending about $7.4 billion on developing countries with climate change. So, like, these are just two specific areas we're helping with, and that's a lot of money. So, you know, we're putting our time, our effort, our people, our money into helping all these other countries and people. So, like, how is that ignorant?
And, you know, the thing is that we're not just helping these countries, doing it for them, we're teaching them as well. It's like that saying, you know, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish, feed him for a lifetime. Well, that is all the time we have for today. I just want to thank you for viewing us this fine day. I'm Tyler McCowan, the moderator. I just want to thank our speakers that have gathered here to inform us, James, Cecily, and of course Amy. And we see you next time.
If you have an interest in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether it's behind the scenes or on camera,
then this is the class for you.
Class is held every Wednesday from 1:30 to 4:30 in room 121 alongside the library building.
For more information, contact Greg Poff, that's me, at solano.edu.
We hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports, it's an education.